Have you ever felt like, no matter how hard you try, that special person doesn't miss you the way you want them to? As if, despite all your interactions, your presence is just another among many? The truth is, missing someone doesn't happen just because you like them or spend time with them. It comes from a set of deep psychological triggers that create an almost uncontrollable desire to be close. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to show you 5 powerful psychological strategies that will not only make her miss you but make her feel an emptiness when you're not around. And no, we're not talking about childish games or manipulative tactics. What you're about to learn are techniques based on the real workings of the human mind, making longing for you an inevitable phenomenon. But to make this work, you need to apply each of them correctly. So, pay close attention and stay with me until the end because every detail here can make all the difference. The first strategy is based on the Zeigarnik effect, a psychological principle that can be your greatest ally if used correctly. This effect explains why our brain fixates more on unfinished tasks than on those that have already been completed. This happens because when something is left unfinished, our mind enters a state of restlessness, trying to resolve that gap. And how can you use this to make her constantly think about you? Simple, never give everything at once. You know those conversations that seem to be going really well? End them at the peak before her interest starts to drop. If you're texting, leave a bit of suspense in the air, something that creates anticipation for the next interaction. During meetings, instead of dragging things out until boredom kicks in, leave while the excitement is still high. This creates a mental space that needs to be filled, and guess what? You will be the missing piece. The result? She will start thinking about you almost involuntarily, trying to find closure for the moments left open. The second strategy has everything to do with controlled scarcity, and this is one of the most powerful factors when it comes to value and desire. Psychologically, humans tend to value what they can't have easily. If something is always available, we lose interest quickly. The same happens in relationships. If you're always there, at any moment, without any effort on her part, your presence becomes something guaranteed, not something desired. Now, when you become a little less accessible, strategically, your presence becomes more valuable. But pay attention, this doesn't mean ignoring, disappearing, or acting indifferent. The secret is in balance. You need to be present enough to create a connection but absent enough to generate desire. This can be done through responses that are not immediate, subtle changes in the frequency of contact, and moments when you put yourself first before making yourself available to her. This way, she will start to realize that your presence is not guaranteed, and as a result, she will miss you when you're not around. Now, let's move on to the third strategy, which might be one of the most impactful, creating deep emotional triggers. Missing someone doesn't just come from physical absence but from the lack of specific feelings that a person awakens in us. If you want her to miss you, you need to create strong emotional memories. This means that every moment you spend together should carry a special emotional charge. It can be something as simple as a unique nickname only you use, an inside joke, a distinctive scent, or even a specific place where you always meet. But the key here is consistency. The more you associate your presence with positive feelings, the harder it will be for her to forget you. And here's a powerful trick: link these moments to an external element like a song, a fragrance, or a specific phrase. This creates an emotional trigger, and whenever she encounters that element, she will be mentally transported back to the moments she shared with you. This is one of the most effective ways to make someone miss you unconsciously. The fourth strategy is based on the principle of reciprocity, and if you understand this correctly, you can create a connection that grows stronger over time. The human mind works simply when it comes to emotions. When someone makes us feel special, we develop a natural need to return that feeling. This means that if you make her feel genuinely valued, at some point, she will start to miss that feeling when you're not around. But here's the secret: this process must be subtle. Small gestures, unexpected compliments, and details that show you truly pay attention to her can have a much greater impact than grand declarations. The key is to create moments where she feels special without it seeming like an exaggerated effort. If you do this the right way, she will begin to associate your presence with happiness, and when you're not there, that absence will be deeply felt. Finally, we have the fifth and last strategy, which is the power of unpredictability. If you want someone to constantly think about you, the worst thing you can do is be predictable. The human mind quickly adapts to routines, and what is predictable becomes boring. If all your actions are easy to foresee, she won't have a reason to wonder what you're doing, thinking, or feeling. Now, when you become an unpredictable person in a good way, the story changes completely. Surprise her with unexpected messages, different compliments, and actions she doesn't expect. But be careful, unpredictability doesn't mean inconsistency. The secret is to create small variations that keep her mind always engaged with you. This makes your presence generate a kind of anticipation, a desire to find out what comes next. And that desire turns into longing when you're not around. Now that you know these 5 psychological strategies, it's time to apply them wisely. But remember, the goal here is not to manipulate or deceive anyone but to create an authentic and deep connection. Because, in the end, what truly makes someone miss you isn't playing games but the genuine impact you have on their life. If you become a unique, special, and irreplaceable person, missing you will be a natural consequence. So, use these strategies wisely and watch the magic happen.